that episode. This is outro, right?
No.
Oh, you want the
said
intro?
it like the way we used to do it.
Oh, my bad. Well,
Last time was clunky.
well, this is clunky too now. This is Sweat Equity Podcast.
You're the one asking questions and stuff, and then like you could have done
Number one comedy business podcast in the world.
Son of a bitch.
Man.
God damn it, I quit.
Who's rusty, dude?
No, it's your stupid Zoom meeting thing. Won't let me.
It's downloading greatness.
I'm stopping converting.
Listen to us on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And this episode brought to you by Zupyak, ZUPYAK.com. Put in the promo code SWEAT for the best AI content writer for your Jimmy Jams. You can write blog posts. You can write
What the hell?
social captions. I'm so tired and sick.
For your Jimmy Jam.
For your Jimmy Jams, bro. You cool cats out there.
Just get through it. Just get through it. You can
That's
do it.
Zupyak, ZUPYAK.com. Promo code SWEAT, like Keith Sweat, Montez Sweat, Sweat Equity. Put in the promo code, get hooked up, holler if you hear me. Let's get the party started. Howdy
It's
dowdy!
called sweat equity.
Listening to the Sweat Equity Podcast.
Now. Okay, we're good.
What?
Okay, very nice.
Dustin, we ask everybody comes on the podcast these two questions. We got to add the lightning round ones. I just remembered that.
I did too.
On the
You
drive
said
over
it.
here. We want to start asking guests a bunch of lightning round questions that have nothing to do with anything. But these two,
you don't got to worry. This isn't a lightning round. This is regular speed.
Yeah, these.
So
two,
you can take your time.
These two, we ask everybody that comes on the podcast for the first time. Did you watch any episodes? Listen to any episodes?
I did. I just finished listening. I was halfway through your last episode. I did. I very rarely do.
Okay.
And for some reason, I listened to yours, and I was perplexed to number one of why I was booked on the show. And I'm kidding. And then secondly is I actually was very intrigued. I was like, okay, this could be, a departure from typically what I have to do, which could be more fun. So I am excited for the show. So yes, I've listened.
We are the number one business/comedy podcast in the world. So
That's what we shoot for.
Excellent.
We want it to be fun for you guys. you know?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it was. Yeah. I enjoyed listening to it.
business is so stuffy and the funniest, craziest shit I've ever heard was not from comedians. It's from like
People who
CEOs
shouldn't be
and
saying
stuff.
it.
Yeah. Second question is, what advice would you give your 13-year-old self?
Oh, man. Do I have to answer it right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of lightning round, I guess.
The idea is whatever comes to mind is probably the best thing you would tell yourself.
No, I literally would have told myself to start sooner. I guess I wasted years of being an idiot, and man, if I could have started at 13 doing what I was doing, life would be very different in a great way. So
Were you? Did you grow up kind of unorganized? I saw your bio. It said there's maybe a lack of discipline growing up. Tell us about that.
Oh man, I had zero discipline. I had zero purpose. I had all the entitlement and pride you could possibly imagine as a 13-year-old, D-bag.
Can you give us an example of that?
We probably have our own examples if we dug deep enough.
Every boy at some point in middle school ages does some cocky shit that you so regret it. But, but it sounds like you had a flurry of these. What? Any examples?
Well, what you just said, the first thing that comes to mind is always good. It wasn't 13; it was shortly thereafter. But I had a real big mouth. And I thought I was the coolest guy ever. And I remember calling a guy out to a parking lot one time. And I was a teenager. I was young. And never thought he would ever show up because I was tough. And he showed up and he was tougher. And I learned a very valuable lesson that day. And, he humbled me in front of a large group of human beings. And it was painful and embarrassing in both ways. But the embarrassment was probably, a million times worse. But the the lack of humility and the pride and the entitlement and the just being just a cocky young kid was really out of control, I would say, during my teenage years.
Yeah, hubris will fuck you up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that age alone is it's so weird for boys and girls, but for boys especially. All the testosterone starts getting going. It's like, I got to show everybody how badass I am for some reason.
Were you the big guy in your group of friends kind of deal?
No, I was about to say, like, I had a massive chip on my shoulder because, like, my dad wasn't around. He's not a bad guy, but he was, off doing other stuff.
Okay.
And I was like a short, fat kid. Like, I didn't grow, and then I was like super fat. So I didn't grow until I was like 17, 18 years old. So, like, you add that right in the middle of being teenage years and girls, and then, I went to an all boys school, so it was 10 times as bad. And the only thing I had behind me was just a loud mouth and not much to back it up. So.
That's one of those lessons that you go, he's a big kid. Fat doesn't equal power.
No.
It's zero.
When you're younger, you're like, that guy, I don't know, I'm not messing with that kid. And you're like, oh, he's fat. You realize later, like, I could have fought this guy I was scared of.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's like offensive line,
right?
A mix.
Exactly. Some of those bodyguards you see,
that was clinically
obese.
It was the exact opposite.
Yeah, I had a lot of friends that were like that back in the day. Like they were fat, thus they thought they were strong, and they weren't, but could talk shit like no one else. So no dad in the picture. Grew up. We found out before we heated the mics up that you're down the street from us, really, in Tampa. No dad around.
It's true.
And growing up here, we went to the same high school at the same time, which is fucking weird.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, insane.
I mean, I'm 2 years older, but still, that's just bizarre.
Yep.
And so tell us about getting from lack of discipline to basically flipping that all the way around. Like, you basically did a 180. Was there a turning point, like a movie, like something
was it getting your ass beat,
or was it just a slow, like, I gotta get habits going, I gotta get routine? Because we talk about a lot of that on the show.
Yeah, so that, like, being a very unhealthy kid, and my dad's not a bad guy. He just was kind of far away, and I grew up with my mother and my grandma, and the last thing on their plates was teaching somebody about, like, health and nutrition and fitness and stuff, right? So I grew up a fat kid, and bad habits like that lead to bad habits and poor health habits as a 20-something or whatever. So those habits continued with me, except they went from, like, food and stuff into, like, drinking and drug use, right? So as a 20-something, I was incredibly lost. I got myself in all kinds of trouble. I was more involved in partying and running around town and all that kind of fun stuff. And I had zero purpose, right? I didn't go to school. I didn't do any of those things. I just thought it would magically happen one day. And those things begin to compound, and you find yourself kind of with nothing. And that's exactly what I did. I had a friend who eventually was like, hey man, why don't you, like, kind of put away all that stuff and stop doing that and come to the gym with me that day? And I didn't have any of that kind of stuff, and I decided to go with him. And that little turning point, however mundane or, small it might have been, that really changed my perspective on life, because it gave me something not only to do, but something I found extreme interest in, something that I could not buy or cheat my way into or, steal or anything. And I had to work for it. And it taught me a level of discipline and showing up every day. And I found out that I loved it. And it got me into the gym business in my 20s. And I kind of turned around and made that the focus of my career in life was the health and fitness space.
I always liked having the goals of weightlifting. You could always, easy to figure out a random goal. I'm going to do this many reps for this much weight and all that. And it was really, because I was like 17 when I started to get into it. And it was always nice to have something like that direction in it.
Yeah, the routine. I used to go with my dad at 13 to Harry Smith's. That was a fucking
name dropper.
100-year-old gym right across the street from the first Outback.
Hook up to that giant belt that jiggles your butt.
Well, I had to tell him, Dad, I can't go with you anymore. Once I saw this weird dude there,
naked in the locker room.
No.
Okay.
Apparently, all the wrestlers and boxers used to stop in that gym all the time. Like, my dad said, he opened up like there's a racquetball court that I didn't know existed for 40 years going there. And then I was like, what's that room back there? And it's like, oh, there's a racquetball court no one uses. That's fucking weird. Everything's greasy. Everything's disgusting. Old school Jack LaLanne style owner, Harry Smith, lived to be like 93. So longevity wise, weightlifting, everything I read is just about that. But like
all about it, but it's important.
My dad walked in that racquetball court and saw Andre the Giant in there. Another Andre the Giant reference.
Wow,
2 episodes
in a row.
But like I saw a guy in a beret and a leotard kind of thing.
That'll turn you off the gym.
With a mustache. No, and it's just weird.
He's a Frenchman.
Like, I'm out. I'm going to go work out at the Y. So, but that story aside, I do feel like all boys in their early 20s are rudderless. Whether they're getting in trouble or not, that's a different story. But I feel like you kind of really don't know shit. I mean, late teens, early 20s, you're kind of like, I have no clue what I'm doing, but it's good that you found that thing to go, okay, this is something consistent I can at least put some energy into. And another thing I tell everybody that they're stressed and anxious and they're talking to me about all their problems. I'm like, go take a walk or go to the gym. Like I feel we've talked about it on this show a lot.
Get your wiggles out.
Women of our generation have a lot of anger because they've been told they can do it, be it all, be a boss babe, right, and be all that stuff. And then they don't know where to put that Cuisinart, and it goes in the wrong direction a lot of the time. And it's like, please go work out. Please go go for a walk without your phone or something. So I digress. I want to dovetail this into your bioprotein technology. But tell us where you're about 20 years old. You're finding the iron paradise, click clack.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the working out, it just was for me. I think everybody needs to just kind of find, and this sounds so cliche, but it is, it's like, what is your purpose? What gets you out of bed? Because before that, man, like you couldn't get me out of bed before noon or 1 p.m. to do anything. Right. So when I found that and I weaseled my way into somebody's gym and my first mentorship, man, I would be out of bed and at his gym working for free at 7 a.m., cleaning toilets and scrubbing barbells and taking out garbage. It's just, it's something that just got me out of bed and I love doing it. So that's all I cared about and pursued that. So I continued that. I was under the tutelage of an ex-Olympic decathlete there. And I just loved the business and I did everything I could to learn about it. That's where I spent my time. And from that point on, I took over somebody else's gym doing the same thing, cleaned all their crap. I basically was just glorified janitor, but I weaseled my way in enough to start taking over their
No, that's entrepreneurial before you technically are one.
Did you at least get a free membership?
Yeah, that's how it all started. I couldn't afford the guy's membership. And I'm like, yo, I will take out your garbage. I'll clean your toilets.
There you go.
I can't pay you. And that's how I would weasel my way in.
There you go.
So, so I took over one of my first gyms a couple years after that. And then from there, it was successful. And I had I got picked up by a national franchise that does sports training. They had a location here in town and I took over their sales and marketing development and that went well. And I got involved in professional athletics. And then I had I wanted to do my own thing for a long time. I've never been a great person to work for other people. I don't always play well with others in that respect. My business partner now goes, you're just not the corporate guy. And I know that I build my business the same way of kind of the anti-hero of, corporate America style stuff. But I got picked up to work with an investor and I created my own facility. And through all of that time and all of those different ventures, I had always utilized a group of formulas that were created by a lab here in town. It was a small regional company, but I used them through professional athletics. I used them through different populations, whether it was younger, whether it was older, in the mid-40s, midlife, and they always worked really, really well, and they always were super safe and effective. And I knew that there was always something there, and I used them myself. And so when I was exiting my last venture, I was like, man, I gotta figure out how to do this. And so I spoke with one of my mentors. He was very interested in participating in my next venture. We went into the business. It wasn't for sale. I basically said, I want to buy it. I want to do this and I want to do it right. We came to an agreement in 3 weeks, wrote a check, and now we're in over 40 different countries on every continent other than Antarctica. So and that has been the last 5 years. So it's been a pretty wild ride since then.
I mean, that is the sweat equity story, really.
Did it. Yeah.
That's, you hustled your way into positions and you did more than you had to get to this point where you're at. And I'm sure you don't feel like you're done at all, but tell us about this bioprotein technology.
Yeah. So what bioprotein technology is, we make a product called BioPro Plus, which has been our big hit. It's a non-synthetic alternative to prescription HGH and peptide treatments. So we, as a brand and as a company, we manufacture and create non-synthetic alternative to prescription medication. The hormone space has been a space that has really sucked us up and had the greatest success.
So I want to do roids.
We'll circle back. I'm just kidding.
I heard your last show. It was a lot of roid talk. So I was like,
maybe we have an alternative
this is
now.
Gonna be really fun. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like it's a compliment to it, but I don't know.
Yeah, do both.
Okay.
For sure. So when you say synthetic alternatives, what are we talking about here? What is the actual mechanism for these things?
So we make non-synthetic alternatives. So if we focus on our number one product, it's cool. Our number one product is called BioPro Plus.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Not at all. But so a lot of people don't understand hormones. To make it super simple, is hormones are simply a chemical catalyst to create a change, but they have to be. The body has to create them into what are called cell signals. So growth hormone gets converted by the liver before the body uses it into what are called growth factors. All those are is cell signals. That's it. They go into the bloodstream and they trigger cells. So what we did is, instead of manipulating the hormone function of your body or manipulating the glandular function that creates the hormones, we just give you the end result. We give you the growth factors specifically because they're just protein amino acid chains that you can extract from another mammal. You can take them directly. They're molecularly identical to what your body produces, so you don't incur any of the side effects that you would typically get from a synthetic prescription drug.
Okay, wow. So what took so long to get there? What, was it just a matter of they weren't able to figure out how to get the growth factors extracted, or was it? I'm just curious what made it go. Why'd they add the extra step? I guess
the hormone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of the story of growth hormone. I mean, hormone replacements as a synthetic drug replace the hormone entirely. They also have the ability to put you into what we would consider, and a lot of physicians would consider, an abnormal space, which is what some people do want. They want to be able to be pushed past their natural capabilities. We don't have that ability by design, because when you start to get into the abnormal range and you start to manipulate the glandular function, so the glands that actually secrete these hormones, you then are kind of tiptoeing and dabbling in the side effect and the adverse event space, and we don't want anything to do with that. I don't believe that synthetic hormone treatments are bad. I just, like our product, they're not for everybody. And we just provide a third alternative, whether it's, prescription HGH, which is a complete hormone replacement, whether it's a peptide, which just squeezes the pituitary, or whether it's BioPro, which is just giving you the end result that both do. It's just another option and tool in a physician's bucket that they can offer patients that provide something a little different.
I gotcha. Okay. So more extreme cases are necessary.
Do you have any kind of success stories of people doing this? I see a lot of cute guys on your website on the pop-up.
Yeah.
Pretty
we
cute.
are very...
Not good cuddlers. Those guys are too ripped.
Yeah, all pointy.
Yeah, very, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We've had great success we've always been in the medical space, but lately, and that lately is the last, 24, 36 months, we've had really great success in the combat sports space. So professional fighters, jiu-jitsu, etc. And we've had extreme success in the military, veteran, and tactical space. So the products have been tested by certain divisions of the FBI. We work a lot with military veterans, guys that are, out of the service, that are looking to heal injuries, feel better. That type of stress level can destroy endocrine function and how your hormones naturally operate. So Yeah, the guys on the website are all users and great glaring testimonials, and it's been pretty great so far.
If you go to bioproteintech.com, you'll see these cute guys in the pop-up that comes up on the site.
Is it prescription only, or is it not prescription?
Technically, no. It's considered OTC, so it's over the counter.
Okay.
I
just saw 4 providers on the top, and I didn't.
Correct. So a large portion of our business is physician based. So we sell through the clinics. The physicians actually sell the products as they would sell any other type of treatment or therapy. And then it's also available on our website directly. So we had to build all that kind of functionality during the whole COVID thing to be able to provide the products direct to the patient in the event that their clinics were not open.
That's pretty cool.
So you're still able to do both kind of channels.
100%. In fact, COVID was the best thing that ever happened to us. That gave us the ability to figure this stuff out and figure out how to get this all over the place instead of the old school, walk in with a bunch of scrubs on and beg for the doctor's time. Instead, we figured out how to do it at a breakneck speed compared to that.
Yeah. Well,
who are your competitors? Do you have any? Is this your proprietary?
The synthetic
betas.
Yeah. The competitors directly are the synthetic drugs themselves. So peptides are very popular. They have been for several years. They are relatively the same from a cost perspective. They are a little different than a complete hormone replacement. However, the federal government did my job for me back in November of 2023 when they banned the same peptides that I would have to compete against. So it's been the vacuum created by that has made life exciting for us in the last 4 months.
Okay. I would say the number one competitor is going to be the people that just are scared to try it or scared to look into it.
You could say that. I
mean, you're kind of using the word competitor loosely now.
No, because that is your number one. You probably have a total area market of a lot of potential people to use it. Especially when you look at there's one for your weight, or I guess the BioPro Plus, and then you have a BioPro Plus Cortisleep. Both have a tag for weight. I'm assuming that's weight loss, but you see Ozempic and how bonkers that shit's gone. Right. That kind of I'm not saying these are cutting agents. I'm just saying it's one of those things where the biggest competitor is for people just to be scared to not look into it.
And that's very fair, but we actually get a lot of business because people are scared to
do the other things.
Jump to drugs that you're talking about. Right. We're a really good gray area for them because as time goes on, each one of these drugs and some of the ones that you just mentioned, I won't. You can mention them. But
Ozempic.
They end up rearing their ugly head when the side effects really start to come up. So now with some of those drugs, you're looking at very serious complications that are already starting to show up, and those it's only been a couple of years. So that's why the government typically steps in to regulate these types of things because they get prescribed what's called off-label, and for things that they weren't created for, and sometimes it does bad stuff. So
yeah, the whole approval system's crazy.
It's also
it's so nuts, especially if you watch that Painkiller Netflix series. You're just like, oh my god. I mean, it's totally believable. I know it's.
Oh, dude, you're in Florida. What are you talking about? I mean, I haven't seen the series, but I know what it's about. I mean, Florida.
Right, we lived it.
I mean, come on, dude. Yeah,
there's an HBO series
every day.
HBO series about the two roidhead brothers that were doing opioids down in South Florida. It's incredible. Just
every Cops episode would be the exact same. It's like they pull the people over. And it's like, okay, what pills do you have? Let's get it out there.
Yeah.
Good old days.
Talk to us about the mental effects of this stuff, because I know it's you're experiencing some of those results with some of your products.
So most of the stuff that we type of do is it's.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's cool. Most of the stuff that we do is it's always really fun to talk about physical stuff and talk about pro fighters and dudes, like the dudes with the shirts off and everything. But actually, the greatest testimonials that come in are from men and women actually alike, but the change in how they feel. So the first 10 to 14 days is when effects start to kick in. And the first thing that people typically feel is energy. They start to feel mental clarity and energy. And that can be tied to a few different things, but those are the best testimonials. One of the testimonials we talk about all the time is we have like a eight time or 6-time, whatever. It's one of those number world champion of a jiu-jitsu guy. And, we use him and he does all kinds of cool stuff on Instagram. And you would think that his testimonial would be something along the lines of like, hey, it helped me with, this title and I won and whatever, but it had literally nothing to do with that. In fact, it wasn't even mentioned. What he mentioned was the fact that after training and running his academy and doing all this stuff, his wife actually specifically commented since he had started saying, ever since you've been doing that, you've become a better father. And not that his parenting skills were better, but it was that he had the energy to then come home that day. And instead of, taking a nap or zoning out, he was able to hang out and play with his kids. I mean, that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just started teaching PE when it just started, but I mean, new career. And I come home every day and it's like, I just want to lay down. I don't know why.
You're exhausted.
It's just like, I don't know what the deal is. I'm like,
how old are you?
40.
Can I ask how old you are?
40.
You're 40?
I'm a man.
What if you're like,
I'm 40.
I don't tell my age on the air.
Yes.
You don't have to say it. I can guess how old you are because you went to high school 2 years before I did.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm like
we were the same age.
Mentally figure it out. Oh,
yeah.
yeah, cool. Well, I mean, that makes perfect sense physiologically. I mean, your hormones decrease every single year after puberty, sometimes by 50% by 35. So if you're at 40, you're right at that age when the light bulb comes on or shuts off, however you want to look at it. And,
goes
you call a guy like us.
Yeah, man, you try this stuff out.
Looked like Chris Pratt. That's been bothering me. I'm like, who does he look like?
Yeah, okay.
Chris Pratt with a better chin, I think. A better jawline.
I don't have a double chin.
No, a better jawline.
Yeah, more defined jawline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I've gotten that a few times before. I'll take that as a compliment.
That is a compliment.
I just blurred out.
Big time movie. You look like Chris Pratt.
So I'll ask for Eric. When can we get some in kind?
For me
shipments over here. But yeah, I mean, this seems. What's the hindrance, or why aren't people?
What's the catch?
Why aren't people doing this when things are too easy, right? When things are too good to be true, they usually are.
Well, there's not always. It doesn't work for everybody. I mean, nothing ever does. You can take the most serious synthetic steroid on earth. You can take every synthetic drug, and it's not necessarily going to turn you into Brock Lesnar and you're going to break through the wall like the Kool-Aid guy. So we have limitations, like the synthetic drugs can outperform us from an abnormality level. The other thing is that, we ain't free. We're not a 501, it costs money, and it's not the least expensive thing you could probably swipe your credit card for. So there are barriers to entry in that respect.
If you go on the site, you get $20 off with that cute guy pop-up.
You can get a coupon code for $20 off. That's true.
I imagine, people are going to their doctor and getting the alternative, like the actual hormones, because they have insurance or whatever, and they don't have to pay out of their pocket.
Well, that's another thing is that most hormone treatments aren't covered by insurance.
Yeah.
So this is a cash pay business.
Or their doctor is recommending that just because they're there.
We used to have the accounts like these 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We were in the healthcare marketing area for a minute. And we remember a lot of insurance talk. It was like, this is not...
Half of it was insurance talk. It was ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, if you want help targeting everybody by insurance, we can help you out with that. But it's... I don't know. I got a lot of questions, but I know we're going to keep it to about 30 minutes here. You got anything else?
Huh? No.
Is it... what can you give us? Are you taking it?
1,000,000%. I have been taking it since 2014. I was a user and paid for it like everybody else prior to acquisition of the company.
Well, that's good.
So we worked for a wellness company as well before this healthcare
did that
one.
too? Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of total horseshit. But the effects of it, it could be placebo or it could actually work.
What were you doing? What were you doing that you thought was like? What was the explain? Help me understand.
Explain how this
horse
works.
Crap aspect.
It was water basically that was
it's brilliant.
hit with a was it a laser? Mm-hmm. Some kind of laser frequency.
Physics, dude.
That
they would just
change the composition of the water, apparently. And they had like 100 different versions targeted for specific things. On top of that, they had their entire system of evaluation that they would. How did they do it? They had a hand scanner. Remember the scanner?
They checked your
They
residence.
scanned you. You had a scanner.
Now we're not going to mention by name, but if you want to go on my LinkedIn, you can find out.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. They had a scanner.
It sounds like you were really into it.
Well, I mean,
the way it was explained to me by the CEO, who's a mentor of mine. I don't want to say for you as well, but I don't need to. No.
I thought you meant the other one.
No, not the owner, the CEO. He was like, "Can you explain how this pencil drops like that?" And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "I don't need to really explain it that it does it, and people benefit from this. I don't know everything about it." And
anyway, they would scan you, and then it would spit out a prescription, basically, of which ones you should take. So I started out
palm of your hand.
Yeah.
Yes, and they actually moved on to a voice scan where you would count down 10 to 1. I was like, first got there, I was like, "What the hell is this?" And then I was there, and I started taking it, and I felt better when I took certain ones, and it was like, okay, whatever.
You get a diagnostic.
Then we parted ways.
You get it,
and I was like, "That was bullshit."
You put your hand on a Scientology reader thing,
right?
And then,
yeah. But honestly, looking back now, I don't know. It might have some actual legit effects that we just can't measure properly now. But I have no idea.
We'll tell you about it off here.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. We do medical expos and we do that and send salespeople to those and do all those things. And I do attend at least one a year, and it's one of the larger ones. And there's always some weird sort of hand thing you put in and it scans it, or it's like, I mean, the things that people will tell you there, and there's good, there's bad, there's the indifferent. A lot of it is new cutting edge stuff, and a lot of it is like really crazy stuff. I mean, the claims that are made are absolutely extreme, but I've seen the hand stuff and everything like that. One time when I was my first show ever, right after we bought the company, I had to we bought the company on the paperwork, we'll say December 1st of 2018. And on the 9th, I had to go to the biggest medical expo of the year. And medicine wasn't really my forte, right? Anyway, so I'm going there and I'm talking about the products and stuff like that. And I had a guy who, and these are all like the craziest doctors in the world from all over the world will come to these things. And they're like world renowned. I don't know who any of these people are. And he's like, "Oh, I'm interested in your products." I'm like, "Okay, cool." He's like, "Well, I need you to hold it." He's like, "I need you to hold your hand out. I'm going to hold it." And he takes it and he holds it against his groin. And then he's like, "I need you to count your heartbeats." And then he tilts his head back and he's holding it to himself while he's counting it and holding me there. And I have no idea what's going on. I'm just trying to make a living at this point. And I had no idea what's going on. He's like, "Oh, I love it. I'll take X amount." And I was like, this is one of the weirdest experiences of my entire life. It was shocking. But those types of things at those shows happen all the time. There was 2 years ago, there was a huge dome. You're going to get a kick out of this, and then I'll shut up.
No,
huge dome.
I have so many questions from the previous story.
You were it sounded like you were assisted dildo or something. I don't know.
I know. Did he get off?
I tell that story. It still haunts me. And if I told you the guy's last name, it wouldn't be his last name was Epstein. It was a whole thing.
Oh boy!
It wasn't the actual guy, but it was clearly. But it
family
was,
member.
It was just
Timmy.
wild.
Timmy, his
I don't
brother.
know. I mean, who knows, dude? But the things are just wild. The other time there was a giant dome. Okay, so it's a massive room in Vegas, right? It's a huge conference room. I mean, they do the biggest shows all over the place in these things. So there's this huge dome. It's like 20 foot tall. And these girls would walk around to the booths and be like, and this is a medical show. These are MDs, DOs, surgeons, plastic surgeons, like the who's who.
There's models for trade shows. Wow. It's crazy. There's a whole, it's a whole cottage industry.
And they're like, you got to come to this dome with us and you need to come follow. And I was like, I'm all set. And so my wife was with me at that time and they would come around and grab it. But I had like my other sales guy and whatever, he ran off.
I'm going to the dome.
What they did was they go in the dome and then it was for emotional support or something. And you would go in there and like lay down and then they would play all kinds of lights and you would just scream and cry like I'm mad at my parents and you would listen to this with drums beating and screaming from grown, successful with air quotes, adults from the other side of the room. I mean, it's absolutely wild. So the water thing is the least of my concerns. There is much wilder stuff. Yeah.
Well, I thought he was going to say orgy.
No, that's even look. The orgy.
That's weirder.
The orgy's less horrifying.
Right, I guess that. I mean, that's easy.
Yeah, I was thinking biodome the whole time you said dome. I don't know why. I mean,
that was a great film. I think that film is highly underrated.
I agree.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that one. I'm probably gonna go. It's not that
it's
great.
Better in your memory,
but it depends how much milligrams in my edible. Look, man, we'll have to get together with you, in real life.
Yeah, do a real life podcast.
And we'll have you back on because I think we just got the tip of the iceberg with a lot of stories and testimonials you have. People find you, social media, what's the plugs?
Yeah, I always tell people to just, the shirtless dudes caught your eye. So I always tell people to send them in the same direction of, go to the Instagram. That's where you're going to see real guys that use our product and who we are as a brand. And it's, we don't do any of the weird, hard sales tactic, crazy stuff. It's a good community to become a part of. And if you got questions, they get answered and there's somebody always working it. So that's at BioProtein Tech, BioProteintech. Website is exactly the same, bioproteintech.com, BioProteintech.com. And we'd love to have you come on board.
Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Appreciate you coming on, bud.
Yeah, man.
Thank you guys for your time. I appreciate you humoring me and listening to my stories.
You're humoring us.
Yeah.